Just like to welcome everybody to the second BDFA charity lunch, and a lot of you were here last year, and there's some new guests here, which I welcome you as well. But also very much like to welcome the special people of the day. First of all, Ellen over there, and Dr. Sarah Moll over there, and also Daisy, wherever Daisy you're sitting there. But the biggest special welcome of all is to a very, very, very special young lady, Laura. And Laura is what we're here for. A wonderful girl, very brave girl. And actually it's the first time I've actually met her as well. And in the hour I've been with her this morning, she's just a wonderful delight. And after we've had our starter, we're going to, you're going to come up here and say a few things, aren't you? With your mother, and we look forward to that. And also, Dr. Moll over there, you're going to come up and say a few words, give an update on the research, which has been some pretty good movement on that, and continues to do so. But also I'd like to say a couple of special thanks to the sponsors of the lunch, and including Guy Carpenter, Hiscox through my buddy Nick Lazarus, and also William Bennett at Amlin, very kindly donated some serious money towards the lunch, and I really appreciate the contribution there. But also out there to everybody on an individual basis, the contributions from everybody individually is just overwhelming. And on top of the corporate donations, we've hit a number which has gone up since we've been here this morning or this afternoon, and we're sitting at roughly £30,000, which is unreal. When I first met Ellen back in 2014 at a function, I was kind of thinking, what have I just done and said? We ran into each other after Ellen done an unbelievable speech, and I sort of said I wanted to try and contribute in some small way. So then we had a meeting at a lunch, and I said I can probably raise maybe £3,000 to £5,000, and obviously if you remember this time last year we ended up at over £20,000, which was mind-blowing, and a serious amount of contribution to the overall annual turnover of the charity. But I then thought, how do we do it for year two? Because inviting everybody back and getting the right day to do the lunch, and in an environment where there's so many people asking money for charity, you kind of don't want to be presumptuous and assume that you're going to get the same amount of money again. So to hit nearly 30,000, I'll get emotional myself, but to hit 30,000 is just mind-blowing. And without you, BDFA, the charity doesn't exist, I guess. So a big thank you again, and I would like to just say some special thanks to the corporate donors here, and there's no in particular order, so don't think that you're at the top of the list or the bottom of the list. But I would start with Rob Littlemore over there. Very kindly got involved at Excel Catlin to corporately donate to us. So thank you, Rob. Remry, through Brian Dornan and Ed over there. Again, thank you. And Amlin on top of the lunch. William, I didn't realise you were going to present a cheque just now, so I'm over the moon with that. Barbican, Ondine, wherever you are. Ondine, yeah, she's not here? No? Okay, Ondine and Barbican and Tom Gwynn at Barbican, thank you for your donation. Advent, Chris Rich, thank you very much from the bottom of my heart. A couple of US companies came in, Secura Insurance Company, which we some of us know here. Aquilo, Charlie Vaughan, wherever you are, thank you very much. Dell Partners, thank you, Duncan and the team. Attain Insurance Company out of Michigan. Again, a friend of mine, Wayne Bates, came in with a nice donation. Lancashire have got no presentation here, but they came in with a donation, so I thank you for them. Hiscox, again, through the Robert Hiscox Fund, donated for the second year. Chaucer, James Hollis. Canopus, Andrew and Jamie, again, thank you. And Novi, Vicky and John. And last but two, Fairley, Andrew, thank you very much. And John Pilkington, I left you till last. And I don't know whether that's actually, but I was complaining about John this morning in the office to Steve Halford, saying that, I wonder who's going to be the last guy to donate anything, and I had two names in mind. I'm not going to tell you the other name, but I'm not afraid to tell you the name I did come up with was Mr. John Pilkington. But then he comes up to me and surprises me with a fabulous contribution from Mr. Brooks and the Ascot team. So if I've missed anybody, please put your hand up, because I don't think I have. But if I have, also I think Mr. Bev, I think I left you out actually, Britt. So that's where we are. We've hit the 30,000, near enough the 30,000 number, and this is an annual event, so I don't want to just sort of end it here. We would like to do it in the future, years to come, and but the main thing is Laura. You're special. Thank you very much.
Firstly, I personally want to begin by thanking you all for being here today. It's hugely appreciated, and especially, of course, thank you, Tim, for your continued hard work and commitment to this very, very worthwhile cause. Many of you were here last year and will have heard what I had to say last year. But this year I'm delighted to say we have the real expert in the room, and that is my incredible and wonderful and beautiful, I am slightly biased, daughter Laura, who I couldn't be more proud of. Laura has got a few words to say to you today, so without further ado, I will introduce you to Laura. You're going to say hello? Hello? Okay. So we've just kind of thought about doing a few questions and answers. So I'm just going to begin by asking Laura, please, Laura, will you just tell us a little bit about yourself, about how old you are, about where you live, and about where you go to school?
I'm 16. I live in Thrapston. My school is London. It's called Linden Lodge.
And what about home? What's at home? Have you got any pets or?
I've got 2 dogs and 6 chickens.
Okay, thank you, Laura. So, Laura, obviously we're here today to raise money for the Batten Disease Family Association, and the people here in this room are keen to know a little bit more about Batten disease. So can you tell us a little bit about the first time that you ever heard about this disease called Batten disease?
When I was 9. And my mum heard the bang and rang 999 asked for an ambulance. She did.
Do you remember anything else about that experience?
No.
Okay, and can you explain to us a little bit about what this Batten disease has done to you and to your life, and how things have changed since you started to be affected by this disease?
I had my first fit. I did.
And so what is a fit? What does that mean?
That means that you fall down on the ground. That's what it means.
And do you have these fits very often, or was it just once?
Well, I had it at my first my first boys' school. And it was there.
And I think, well, I know, because I'm your mum, that you've had over 50, you've had about 54 of these drop seizures now, which take about 24 hours to recover from each time that they happen. So how do you feel about having Batten disease, Laura? Do you think it's a good thing? Do you think it's fun, or do you think it's not really much fun?
But it's not fun.
Can you tell us why it's not very much fun?
Because I can't say, and I have tablets to stop the fit.
And do you find it easy to sort of make friends with people and have a normal, active life, do you think?
Yes.
Okay, so obviously we're here raising money for the Batten Disease Family Association today, and do you think it's important that we have this charity?
Yes.
Can you explain why you think it's important to have this charity?
To help children and grown-ups who can't say.
Good, and Laura, if you had one wish, if you had your fairy godmother here, or fairy godfather here, who could grant you one wish, what do you think that wish would be?
I can say again.
You'd like to be able to see again. Well, that's lovely. Okay, well, finally, Laura, I think we don't want to hold people up forever, so I'm just finally going to give you the opportunity, because I know you're keen to say some thank yous, aren't you?
Yeah.
All right, so who is it you want to thank?
Tim.
I'd like to say a thank you to Tim. Is there anyone else?
Everybody coming today.
And everybody for coming today. Thank you, Laura. Is there anything else you want to say before we sit down?
No.
Okay, well, thank you ever so much for listening. I hope you found that as interesting as I have. And once again, we hugely appreciate the efforts that you've all put in for today. As a trustee of the Batten Disease Family Association, I do just want to make the point that we are a tiny, tiny charity, and as a rare disease, you'd be amazed how little there is out there currently, for people who are suffering with rare diseases. It's an issue that I would love to lobby on at one point, because it's really rather an attitude of, because so few are affected, we'll just ignore it and sweep it under the carpet. That's wrong, in my opinion, and I will make the point that our annual turnover last year was £350,000. So this lunch has raised £30,000. We as a charity provide a clinical nurse specialist. We fund medical research, we provide a helpline, we provide information leaflets, none of which would exist at all in any form if the charity didn't exist. So there would be nowhere for families to turn. So it's a very significant contribution that you, Tim, and all of you are making today at this lunch, and I really want to bring that point home. So thank you.
what I thought I'd do is just spend a very few minutes telling you what I do and what a difference the BDFA is making to research. So I'm a research scientist at University College London. I've been working on Batten disease for more than 20 years. There's actually a number of different types of Batten disease, and each one is caused by a mutation in one gene. Just one thing has gone wrong in a gene. But this is having a very complex effect within cells, and especially in the brain, and that's what's causing the disease. So in the years that I've been working on this disease, my group and others around the world have identified most of the genes now that cause Batten disease, and including the gene that I know Laura refers to as her naughty gene. It's called CLN3. And we've been working to find out what these genes do normally and what is going wrong when these genes aren't working. And we need that kind of information in order to develop treatment. Now, I guess not many of you think much about science. I don't know, maybe you were good at science at school. But science in this country certainly depends on grant funding. So my university pays my salary, but it doesn't pay for any of the research that we do. So I have to win this money competitively. I spend a lot of my time writing grant applications to attract money in. The success rate is quite low. For example, the last grant award that I was awarded, I was one of only 10 grants awarded out of 400 originally submitted. So it's really hard sometimes to get that money, and especially for rare diseases. What has the BDFA done? So the BDFA, over the years that I've been involved with them, has supported my work in many different ways. It's awarded costs to help some of my PhD students do some of the work that they've done. It takes between about £10,000 and £20,000 a year to fund the work of one person in a lab. Depends what they're doing and how much that work costs. The BDFA also had the foresight a number of years ago to actually fund their own PhD student. Not just the cost of her research, but also her stipend. And Sophia worked in my lab, Sophia Holthouse. She's just been awarded her PhD. Her thesis was on developing gene therapy to prevent or slow down the loss of vision in Batten disease. She's identified which cells in the back of the eye need to be treated, and they were not the cells that we expected we would have to treat. And she's developed a special virus to introduce this gene into those cells. There's still a lot of work to be done in terms of sorting out the details and checking safety. Lots of steps. We're tightly controlled over that. But we are on the beginnings of that road towards a clinical trial. This is really groundbreaking work. It's been done in the UK in a lab that is a leading lab in the world in developing gene therapy for any type of inherited blindness. And really pleased that the BDFA really did have that foresight to fund this work. As I say, there's nowhere else in the world doing this. This is the type of work and the level of work that the BDFA funds. And those like you who support them and help make this happen, it is making a difference. I know, I see it every day. Thank you very much.